So on Sunday night's episode, we saw a major conflict between Stuart and Ted settled, allowing them to work together. How does their dynamic change going forward, and how does it impact the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think that was a good move for both of them to start to come together. I mean, I've kind of been thinking about it as the seeds of reconciliation as opposed to the reconciliation.
Hmm.
It's a nice step in the right direction, and I think it's good for these two guys who, have been best friends and brothers,
Yeah.
and they've loved each other very deeply for 20 years, but it's also been, 20 plus years of like mistreating each other too.
Hmm.
And, you know, we, I'm sure you do it because you're a human being, but like we all have people in our lives that we go, I should probably set up some boundaries with
Yeah.
you. And that's ultimately what Stewart did. So it'll be interesting to see, when he split with Ted during the merger. So it'll be interesting to see how this relationship moves forward and if those boundaries maintain
Yeah.
or if because I don't think it's going to be like a hey, we're all good, no harm,
Yeah.
no foul, sweep it under the
Besties.
rug sort of thing. With it there's going to be some lingering stuff that needs to be dealt with for sure.
Definitely. We also see the return of Gabriel Macht in the Suits universe with Suits L.A. What was the best piece of advice he gave you entering the franchise?
He was talking about when he signed on to do the original series, they shot it in New York, but then they
Hmm.
moved the show to Toronto and he
Yeah.
lived in New York. And when we did our show, our pilot, we shot it in Vancouver and then it moved to LA. And he just said, keep in mind that you just maintain that perspective. He's like, it could be that you would be working in another town. So
Hmm.
don't ever take for granted that you're working in the town you live in and that you get to have Suits LA shoot in LA. And he was telling that to Brian Greenberg and I, and it was a nice perspective to have called out for us because
Yeah.
I think just as you get, you're just living your life and you're doing your thing and maybe you forget that like, oh, we're very blessed to be working, number one,
Hmm.
but even more blessed to be working in LA when there's so much production that's moved out of town. And that was a nice perspective to just like be grateful and to kind of take inventory of that every once in a while and go, yeah, this is great. This is really nice. It's really great to have his blessing on the
Hmm.
show and for him to come do it. And I see him doing press for it for our show. And there is no Suits LA without Gabriel Macht
Hmm.
and the cast and crew that made Suits. So we're very, very thankful for that.